Hi, fellow veterans. This is Crystal coming to you on my YouTube page, Purified by Grace. I'm coming to you because I want to share my story with you and I want to empower you to write your own story. Um, so many of us suffer in silence and put on a facade um, and have to pretend as though everything is okay when it's not. So I really want to encourage you to write your story because your service matters, you matter, your story matters. I wrote my story last year, August of 2020. I took a course called Reboot Combat Recovery, and this is what the book looks like. It's a 12-week course where you start looking at the root of where your trauma started, and it helps you to go on a journey all the way into being able to share your story, being able to write your story, and then graduate. Um, this course is very empowering. It's very encouraging because you get to interact with fellow veterans, fellow service members, and just go on a healing journey, a journey of healing. I really encourage each of you, if you would like to um, check out www.rebootrecovery.com. I took the first course. I haven't taken any courses after that, but I did take the first course. And I enjoyed being able to interact with other veterans. Um, Without further ado, I will share my story. Um, I will talk about my life before the military, during the military, and after the military. My life before the military. Okay. I was born in Little Rock and I lived there for the first 9 years of my life. Uh, in the process of my parents' separation to divorce, my mom, brother, and me had moved to Mississippi, where I lived there for the second set of my first 9 years. The second set of 9 years of my life, from 9 to 18 years old. During that time, I experienced the grief of losing my dad to divorce while growing up in a single parent home. At the age of 17, while I was still in high school, I enlisted into the Army Reserve. And at the age of 18, I was shipped off to basic training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. And of course, I attended AIT at that same duty location. Uh, in 2003, January 2003, my Army Reserve unit was issued executive orders from then President George W. Bush to mobilize and prepare for deployment. And we mobilized February 2003. I turned 19 years old, and we were at Fort Benning. We thought that we were going to go home. Because we were there for a while, but we actually did get sent downrange. And that was March of 2003, where we stayed. We were actually in Kuwait. We were there for like 11 months. During that time, Saddam Hussein was captured. Also, during that time, I experienced military sexual trauma, MST. And after experiencing that, um, my life went downward. It went in a downward spiral. Um, that experience magnified the brokenness that I had inside of me that I didn't even realize I had inside of me from my parents' divorce. I had made bad choices, one after another, to cope with the pain that I felt inside. I would seek validation from the wrong people, which in turn compounded the pain. I was digging deeper holes of self sabotage for myself. Broken people attract broken people. After successfully completing my enlistment in the Army Reserve, I decided to enlist on active duty. I was stationed at Fort Hood, Fort Campbell, and Fort Hood, Fort Meade, and Fort Campbell. I got to Fort Hood in 2009, and we were deployed. I got to Fort Hood in 2008 when we were deployed to Iraq in 2009. And there I experienced some mortar rounds that hit Fog Warrior. And I also went on R&R leave. During that time, I met my ex-husband for the first time in person and got pregnant unplanned with my oldest child. Now, we do have 3 children together total, but with my first child, I got pregnant unplanned and we weren't married at the time. I found myself doing all I could to get him over here to the U.S. Because I grew up believing that, of course, we should be married before having kids. But in my case, I didn't get married before I had my first child. So I didn't want to feel the pain or guilt of having a child out of wedlock without my child knowing her dad. So I went ahead and married him anyway, even though the situation was unhealthy. It was a recipe for not working out. During my military career, even during me being at different duty locations, I experienced toxic leadership through various means: hazing, bullying, misogynistic behavior, racism, pitting soldiers against one another, the use of abusive language, throwing people under the bus until I had gotten enough. I stood up for myself and I lost rank. I was separated involuntarily, but still under honorable conditions. All these affected me after getting out of service. It was hard to hold down a job, and it affected my ability to trust. Anything that reminds me of what I went through, I would run to avoid it, which were different symptoms of PTS, post-traumatic stress. My ability to maintain relationships was affected. And also, it taught me to see toxicity for what it really is and understand that I don't have to put up with mental or physical abuse. Verbal or mental abuse. And of course, no, I'm not going to put up with physical abuse either. I have had bouts of depression, and I had passing thoughts of driving into traffic. But God helped me through that low point, that point of when I was wanting to do harm to myself when it came to driving into traffic. I'm so thankful that God reached out and got me and helped me to come up out of that. Now, I tell you, I do still deal with anxiety, but of course, I am going through treatment for that. To let you know, healing is a process. It's not a quick overnight thing, and we have to be patient through the process. It's really a journey. So we have to be patient with ourselves and know that we are loved. Also, I want to be able to say, like, even for people who perpetrated, who brought pain upon other people, I want them to know that they should seek forgiveness. Whoever you may be, I encourage you to seek forgiveness because we don't want to hurt each other. We served alongside each other. We've lost people, due to somebody else's hurt. So I encourage you to seek forgiveness for those who you have offended. Veterans, I came to you because, like I said, I wanted to empower you. I wanted to encourage you to write your own story because your story does matter. I want you to find healing. It's important that you find healing through whatever you're dealing with, whether it's visible wounds um, as well as invisible wounds. Nobody should be suffering in silence. Nobody should be suffering in silence and have to put on a facade. So I love you all, and I am rooting for you through this process of healing, this journey of healing, because indeed it is a process. And again, I encourage you to be patient with yourself. Seek whatever treatment you need. Don't be ashamed of it. Get whatever treatment you need so that way you can be the best you that you can be. I love you all, and I'll be back to share more information with you um, when that information is made available to me. So be encouraged. And again, like I told you from another video, I have your six. I have your back. I love you all. Take care.